What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at two companies that I own in my portfolio and I am down on. This has been a great year and we've had a lot of big winners, but it's important to take a look at the stocks that we're down on in our portfolio and ask ourselves, did we get this wrong? Is our thesis broken? Did something change about the company? And based on our answers to those questions, we might add more to our position, we might hold, or we might decide to sell out. As always, if you get value out of the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to make spreadsheets like this or support what I do, consider following me on Patreon. Link to that will be down below. Now, let's get into it. The two companies we're going to look at today are Evolution Gaming and Gambling.com. They're both related to the gambling industry, and if that's an industry that you just don't want to invest in, that is totally fine. Some people don't want to invest in tobacco companies or alcohol, or maybe you think social media is a sin as well and you don't want to invest in Meta. It really doesn't matter. If you don't like a company, if you don't like an industry, don't invest in it. That's totally fine. I'm not here to convince anyone to buy any stocks. None of this is a recommendation to buy or sell the companies that I'm talking about. I just tell you how I think of things and what I'm doing with my money. And yeah, both of these companies are positions for me. Evolution is close to a 4% position for me, and Gambling.com was about a 2% position, and with the recent drop, it's now less. So let's try to take a fresh look here, and we're going to start with Evolution. I've talked about both of these companies before, so I'm not going to do a deep dive, but Evolution, they create and run online casino games. So if you want to play poker or blackjack online, you might be playing a game that is operated by Evolution, but they also have a ton of other games. A lot of these are quite a spectacle. They're more involved than just, your typical blackjack. Things like Lightning Storm, which is combining elements of roulette with other stuff. These games are very popular. Their clients are casinos or other operators that are interacting directly with the customer. And they are the market leader in this space. In fact, it's not even really close. Playtech and Pragmatic would probably be their closest competitors, but in terms of the number of tables that they operate, Evolution is still far and away the market leader. Now, when I was buying here, part of my thesis was margins have been simply incredible. They have significant scale advantages over their peers, and they're going to benefit from a natural tailwind as there's more and more people who are going towards online casinos. Online gaming is going to naturally take market share. So even though we're not going to see the same growth we saw in the COVID boom, you're going to have high margin, profitable growth in a market leader for a very reasonable valuation. Now, diving into their recent results, let's see if something has changed about our thesis. In this quarter, net revenue is actually down slightly. And yes, margins are still incredible, but they are still down slightly as well. The game rounds index is basically their way of tracking, how many games are actually being run, how many tables are being operated here. And we see it's kind of been flat. It's actually down slightly year over year, but it's basically been stagnant for about a year and a half. Going region by region, the biggest problems are in Europe and Asia. In Europe, a big headwind has been regulation. To deal with this, they've implemented what they call ring fencing, which is basically isolating player activity. So players now can't just join any game they want. A player in one country has to use game servers or tables that are specifically approved for that country. They started implementing this in the beginning of the year in Q1. In Q2, this was fully implemented, and we see this has had a big effect on revenue. The year-over-year comparisons here are not good, and they probably won't be good in Europe until Q2 of next year. Now, one positive may be increased regulation often can increase the barrier to entry. So while this could strengthen Evolution's market position, a significant decrease in revenue here was certainly not something I had in my thesis. And speaking of decrease in revenue, Asia, they also have regulatory concerns, but probably a bigger concern is what they call cybercrime. Basically, if people can steal Evolution's live streams of these games, then they can monetize them and essentially cut Evolution out of the loop. Management has been talking about this as a problem for quite some time. However, it seems they haven't really made headway here. And this is beginning to have an effect on revenue in Asia. Now, other regions, North and South America, seem to be doing decently well, but these are smaller parts of Evolution's business. Also, we see as the share of regulated revenue has gone up over the past year, their margins have gone down. Yes, margins are still extremely good, but increased regulation is going to mean somewhat lower margins. Now, in spite of their problems, they are still a cash flow machine. Capital expenditures are low. They don't need to reinvest much back into this business. They have effectively no debt. So all this excess cash that the company generates, they've been returning most of it to shareholders. They pay a very healthy dividend, and they've also been buying back their stock. So, dividend is close to a 5-ish% yield. Buybacks are close to a 4-ish% yield. yield. So, the yield that you are getting on this stock today is about 9%. So let's go to our sheet and decide, do we need to change our opinion about evolution? Now that we have more data, does our thesis change? And I think I was over optimistic about growth expectations here. I still think that evolution is the market leader. My opinion really has not changed on that. Their margins are still incredible. They are still highly profitable, but my growth numbers were too optimistic. Regulatory changes are always a risk for an industry like this, and I think I underestimated the headwind that would have on their revenue. So I'm adjusting my assumptions here. In my base case, I just have them essentially growing in line with inflation. 3% growth on the top line. I should also mention all my numbers here are in US dollars. The company reports in euros. I've converted that to US dollars. I'm not assuming any currency fluctuation between the dollar and the euro. Obviously, there is a bit of currency risk here, but I could see that going either way. I think the euro is a fairly stable currency. If you think the euro is going to depreciate against the dollar, then yes, that would be an extra headwind for you. You should bring your numbers down. If you think that the dollar is going to weaken against the euro, then that would make in dollar terms the revenue growth look better, and you should increase this number here. For me, I'm just going to assume that the FX fluctuations are roughly neutral. So 3% top line growth, basically no real growth. Margins, I'm bringing margins down slightly from where they are now. I think they will have to keep coming down a little bit as we have more regulation. And I'm giving this company an 11 times multiple, which I think is fair for a market leader with still incredible margins, no debt. And in this scenario, you're looking at a 15% annualized return over 5 years. That is a double on your money over 5 years in this scenario. My bear case, I assume zero revenue growth. So this is negative growth in real terms. I pulled back margins even more, and I only give them an 8 times multiple. And still in this scenario, you're looking at a 5% annualized return on this stock. So overall, has my thesis changed? Has my opinion about evolution as a company changed? I would say yes. But with that said, the price has also come down. This is still a highly profitable company, a market leader, and is now trading for a single-digit multiple. To me, even with my revised assumptions where I brought down their top-line growth a ton, margins are compressing, I just think the risk-reward looks pretty good to me here. So as far as what I'm going to do with my position in evolution today, am I going to buy? Am I going to sell? The answer is I'm going to do nothing. I'm just going to hold. Obviously, as more quarters come in, as we get more information in the future, I might change my opinion. But as of right now, I'm going to remain a shareholder of Evolution. Now, let's move on to the second company, and it is gambling.com. And this was a newer purchase for me, a smaller purchase. It was close to 2% of my portfolio. Obviously, with the price dropping recently, that's come down. Right now, the stock is down close to 30% from where they release earnings. And if we move this out to a year or even more, the picture doesn't get any better. The stock is down quite a lot, regardless of the period we want to look at. Now, this is a much smaller company than Evolution. This gambling.com, we're only talking about a $170 million business. The core business of this company has essentially been affiliate marketing. They own a bunch of websites, gambling.com, casinos.com. They funnel customers to operators, casinos, other companies, and they take a piece of that customer revenue. That core business today is about 75% of the top line for them. And most of the rest is coming from their data business, where you subscribe to get odds data from OddsJam and RotoWire. This is more of a software as a service side of the company. And while it looks like growth has been incredible, a ton of this growth has been through acquisitions. Organic growth, management says expect more like 10%. Cash flow also has been increasing in line with revenue. And right now, this is a business with about 40-ish million a year in free cash flow. And again, this is a company that is trading for $170 million. We're talking about a business with more than a 20% free cash flow yield that management says is growing. So what's going on? What's wrong with this company? Well, to highlight a few red flags, and these aren't things that are new, these are things that we knew when we bought the business, but first red flag, they've taken on a significant amount of debt as they have made acquisitions. So they used to have essentially no debt, and now, if we add in the current portion of debt as well, we're talking, close to $90-ish million of debt on this company. That's not anything unmanageable or anything crazy for a business that has, 40-ish million in free cash flow. But it is a change in the capital structure of the company. Also, they're likely going to have to pay $40 million in April as part of their acquisition of Odds Holdings here. So while management thinks that the stock is very undervalued and they put a bit of money towards buybacks, they don't have as much dry powder as they would like to buy back stock at these levels. Additionally, there's a company, Swift Analytics, that has filed a lawsuit against Odds Holdings, essentially saying that Odds Holdings stole their data. I don't know exactly how to assess that, but it certainly adds a bit of uncertainty here. Now, my thesis here essentially was this is a company with, close to a 20-ish% free cash flow yield that I think is going to have natural revenue tailwinds as you have an increase in online sports betting, an increase in online gambling in general. And for a company with this type of valuation, you don't really need much to go right to have incredible returns at these levels. So has that thesis changed? And I think that this is going to all come down to your opinion on the core business. A main piece of the bear thesis here is affiliate marketing is going to be under pressure, especially as you have more and more search taking place on, ChatGPT and other LLMs. Their business model of relying on Google SEO is in chronic decline. Now, while there have been changes to Google rankings and LLMs are a threat, when I read through their earnings call, I don't get the sense that this is a dying business. The CEO said, "We continue to see tremendous value in our marketing business that far exceeds the value currently being ascribed to it by the public markets. The marketing business has already been transformed from a pure SEO business into a diversified marketing engine, which is less reliant on SEO than ever before. In Q4, we expect to generate more revenue from non-SEO channels than SEO for the first time as a public company." And by the way, the guidance that this company put out implies about, $45 million-ish in revenue for Q4, which, while that's lower than I was hoping for, this is still a growing company. If you don't believe that the core business is dying here, then the stock just looks extremely cheap. In fact, going through the earnings report and going through their earnings call, I'm asking myself, what do I think has truly changed about the thesis of this company? The answer for me is I don't think that this earnings report changed a ton. We maybe need to bring down our assumptions slightly for revenue growth, and maybe we should think about, in the bear case, what happens if we're just simply completely wrong and the core business here truly is in a state of perpetual decline. But my base case is 5% growth a year. This is a significant slowdown. Obviously, they've grown much faster in the past, but a lot of that is through acquisitions. Even if we're just looking at organic revenue, 5% growth, significant decline. I'm giving them 20% operating margins, which, once you account for expenses like their earnouts on their acquisitions, they're actually significantly above 20% right now. So I'm assuming that margins contract, in spite of the fact that part of my thesis was, as this company scales, margins should improve. It's a relatively asset-light business. But here in my base case, we're assuming margins contract, and I'm only giving them a 10 times multiple. And in this scenario, you're looking at roughly a triple on your money over 5 years. Essentially, if the core business is not dead, even if it's just like a meh, grows slow on the top line, margins contract, only trades for a 10 times multiple, if this is the scenario we're looking at, you still have a triple on your money. If the company actually hits something closer to management's expectations, where, we're talking 10% growth on the top line, 25-ish% operating margin, and, in this scenario, I'll give them a 14 times multiple, you're looking at basically a 50-ish% annualized return on this stock. You would be up more than 600% on your money after 5 years if our assumptions in this scenario come true. So the question is, what is the downside? What is the risk? And to be honest, this is a difficult question to answer. Looking at the numbers, I just don't think that the core business is dead. If you do, and you think that we're in a state of just perpetual decline, and this is also a company with debt on their books, then, it's really going to be difficult to assign a bottom to this bear case. I think that there is some small chance that this stock is just a zero. I think that's quite unlikely, but it's not impossible. Now, if I just assume that there is no revenue growth, margins pull back significantly, and I only give them a 7 times multiple, then yeah, in this scenario, you're down 3% on your money every year for 5 years. Not great, but it's really not that bad of a pessimistic scenario at current prices. The true risk is we get this one completely wrong. It is a small business, and it just turns out to be going to zero. So for me, as far as what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to make a company like this too large a percent of my portfolio, but at the same time, I think there's quite a bit of upside here. Of course, the stock could continue going down. I have no clue, but I think I'm going to add to my position here and bring this back up to maybe 2 to 3% of my portfolio. In my opinion, I think the current potential reward is worth the risk. And yes, sometimes on these deep value companies, we will be wrong. In fact, it's an inevitability that if you invest in deep value stocks like this, you're just going to be wrong about some of them and it can be ugly. But when we're right, it's very easy for these companies to be multi-baggers in our portfolio. And in the long run, the gains from the winners vastly outweigh the losses from when we're just wrong. So for me, yes, I know it's ugly, I know it's scary, but I'm actually going to be adding slightly to my gambling.com position at these prices. As always, this is not a recommendation for anyone else to buy the stocks that I'm talking about in these videos. I'm just giving you my opinion. And if you got value out of the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to join the Discord, you want to make these spreadsheets, consider supporting me on Patreon in the link down below. And I hope to see you all in another video.